Alright, listen, anyway, quickly, before I move on to anything else here, GRM Gala, I know you didn't go. Really good.
It's good every year here, man.
Yeah, it was
I need
good.
to start actually going. I feel like I'm the one person that doesn't go.
Honourable shout out to Posty and the whole team for putting that on and whatnot. It was a vibe, man. They asked me to musically curate the thing. They just wanted to do something different this time in regards to booking DJs. So I booked the DJs, put them in and whatnot, and yeah, man, it was just a vibe in there. The venue was cold. Everyone dressed really well. The vibe in there was good. It's so sick to be in a place like that when you know that 15 years ago and even longer, you're not seeing that. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not seeing that. And although the industry in particular, which probably is the light elephant in the room, is that it's in a shit space right now. It's in a bad. It's not even just flipping the music industry. It's bare things. Literally, one of my brethren mentioned to me the other day, and he was like, "Listen, it feels like there's a black button that's just got switched off. Like it's nuts. It feels like there's no money. It feels like everything is just really low. Even like, some of the record companies, they're getting rid of bare stuff. I don't know if you know about this.
No, what are they? What are they?
Like, it's in a bad space.
Just money, or is it? Hold on, just
jobs.
When you say black button.
So the urban
scene, like that.
People are charting terribly.
Yeah,
record sales are horrible.
But what's replacing it?
I don't know. Do you know what it is, bro? This is a comment. Maybe I know I keep saying this. I know. But I'll unpack it properly another time. But I just think that like, everything has a cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But usually it's replaced by something that you can see one's on its way out and one's on its way in.
But the thing that
it's country back.
The thing that might,
It's country back.
What do you mean?
Country music.
Maybe. Like whatever it is, bro, whatever that thing potentially is, might not be something that we're seeing because we're not going to pay too much attention to it. But if we're in that industry and we're in it, you'll then see that, there's a shift happening here.
No, we are in it. I'm definitely in that industry as well.
I mean the positive thing. So let's say like it is country. We might not feel it so much because we're not country music lovers.
Yeah.
But if you are up and coming country,
yeah.
You might start seeing. I wonder
if like the charts would like resemble it. Like for
potentially,
example, if the urban scene is charting bad, who's charting well, kind of thing.
But I don't check. I don't.
Yeah,
for me, I'm not. Yeah. I don't find music through looking at the charts, bro. I just find what is good, and I just support what is good.
So, do you feel like you're finding less of what is good for you?
Not for me, because for me, a lot of what I avoid the noise. There's so much noise out there, but there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that sometimes people are distracted by the noise, which is an interesting thing. Yeah, I've mentioned this on a pod before. What you're probably going to start to see over the next couple of years is, definitely within a year, who actually has fans and who has the fans of the time.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
There you go.
Because there's a lot of artists that they've been doing really well and whatnot, yeah. But really, the people that are checking for this are just fans of the time. So, you remember what you were doing when you were like 17, 18, and you were listening to that and this artist and whatever else, yeah. But then when you get to like 23, 24, you're just off that. You're not 18 anymore. However, you got certain artists where you're like, you grow with them. So like a Dave, for example, there's artists out, there's fans out there that are like, they're 18 and they will still be following him when they're 23, 24, and they're growing with him and whatever else. Loyal Kana is one of them. You can see he's bearing the fruits of that. There's a bunch of that. But there's a whole load of artists that essentially just had fans from the time, and now you're dropping some shit, nothing ain't happening.
No one cares.
Nothing's happening. So now it's even more difficult. You can't tour. You can't really sell much stuff.
Well, you can tour. It's the most, like, along with the inflation of tuna, milk, strawberries, and all the stuff that everyone else is complaining about, artist prices are going up, and you can tour.
That's the problem, though.
And you can do shows, and you can have loads of shows if you want. You just got to drop your prices a little bit, and you'll find value there. That's
true. Well, essentially, you have to take a humbling, right?
I don't even think it's a humbling. Like the market tells you what the price is, and
I hear that.
if you can get a lot of shows at that price, and then you rise it up, and you can't get a lot of shows at that price, the market's showing you where your value is. That's what I'm saying, and what works and what doesn't work. And now you've got to decide between, do you want to do just a few shows and you want to like almost narrow down who can afford you, or do you want to open it up? You know, like bottom line, if Chelsea said Nicholas Jackson was available for 10 mil, you'd have every club interested. But because they say Nicholas Jackson is 50 mil, it's only
different.
4 clubs that can buy this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, you go based on value. It depends what you want to do. It's your career as a musician. No one don't want you. You're telling me that these guys will say, listen, like I'm available for shows. I'm doing shows. I want to do a show every week all summer. And you think their DMs won't be going off? Of course it would.
Well, yeah and no though, because on one aspect, a lot of artists are finding it very difficult to sell tickets, yeah, at the moment. The ticket sales are like within the live sector, within this part, has had a big hit. But though, you can still tour. You just might have to downsize your thing. Yeah. But then it goes against the perception of what you're trying to create. So if, for example, let's say, you know, you're seeing this person doing O2 Arena or whatever else, and you feel like you're at least, okay, maybe not O2 Arena, but you're supposed to be 5,000, so Brixton Academy or whatever, yeah? But really, you can't sell that. Really, where you are at today is Islington in North London.
Go lower, man. Jazz Cafe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think there's any shame. Like, you play the cards you've got, you're dealt.
I agree.
And I agree. And sometimes it could be cute. It could be better, those intimate shows. You don't always need to be those big ones. And I wasn't even talking about headline shows, like where you're on stage for 2 hours. Like, I'm not even talking about your show. I'm even just talking about appearances. People aren't even really doing that many appearances now.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like before you'd be like, oh, like there'll be a night on, it'll be like Heady's performing.
Oh yeah, but that stopped time ago. I mentioned this time ago.
I don't know why though.
Because
like,
of the P's.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money these
Exactly. Drop the piece. And then you get all your buzz back. You can re-get it. You could get it all back.
But do you know what the problem is as well, on top of that, bro, is that like the club scene isn't like how it used to be back in the day. You know, like you could have negotiated a little something for Oceana or this place or whatever. They're not like how it was before, bro. Yeah. Now, do you know what it is now? I'll tell you what it is now. A lot of the bigger ones anyway, are the branded ones, like the DLT, Recess, R&B and slow jams. Like you name them. Those type of ones are, but they're not on every week.
Yeah, they're events. Yeah, they're events.
And they're quite music specific in some of them too. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, it's still because Heady did do that. I'm talking about like just even, you know, like certain gaffs would just be like, I remember like when them like Western and these would be having like 2-3 shows a night. Yeah, but where were they? I'm talking, you get a dingy, you get me, like, you have to. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. No, but I'm saying you have to you do that one. You might do like quickly 15 minutes out on it, and then quick and fly down to a uni show or whatever it is. Like, I just think like that whole thing is gone, but it's not because no one wants them. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's not because no one doesn't want to see them anymore. It's because you made it impossible. Well, maybe yeah, because it's just so expensive, and then everything's become expensive. Yeah, because they've said, oh yeah, you want me to stay on stage and do free verses, $5,000, and now that place is just like, oh shit. Now, in order for us to afford that, we have to raise everyone's drinks and entry prices. Yeah, and now exactly. You don't even want to go out. The artists are still in control of it, is what I'm saying. Yeah. If Heady, I don't know why I keep saying Heady. Any of them, was to say, it's because you listen to a lot of Heady, innit? If any of them was to say, right, I am doing I'm gonna do a few shows, and I'm gonna charge the promoter $1 bag. Now the promoter can go like this. All right, now let's work. Do you know what I'm saying? Now he can do up his flyer or whatever it is, and you're just gonna get all the undateables in this dance. Yes, that's it. You get all the undateables in this dance to watch the 3-minute verse. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, but I just think, you know, the problem with that though is, I'll tell you what the problem with that is, you're forgetting in that, yeah. Yeah. And I know you're only just using one figure, and it's an example. Yeah. But let's just take that one for an example, yeah. You see that one bag, yeah? You got to take that 20% out for, yeah? Then you got to take out another for the agent, right? Then you see the driver.
You don't need to
he's
go
got
to
to
Hcpod, man.
He's
Just
got to
go
get
in the car,
He's
just
got
go
to
in the
get
car.
150 for that. Then there's petrol that's got to go in that, and then you know your guy with the pouch that yeah he's got to. So by the time now you finish, now you've read 350. 350. We're going back to early grind days.
It's not a money making. I wouldn't use that. That's not where. That's a smoke screen. That's not where I would use it to make my money. If that makes sense, it's just to get the buzz back. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't use that as the what's it called? I would use that to like get it rolling again.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to probably miss out that entire mid stage and just go straight to being very nonchalant and I'm too good for everything and everywhere. I'm sure you guys, when you're trying to book people, sometimes they're even moving a bit sexy because they're just like they feel like they're too big.
It is.
But it's music, man. You're meant to serve the masses. It
is still, and I hear it. I do. I think it's just an interesting time, and I think a lot of them, when you look at at the ego in place, you do have to drop that. That's a big part of it, and get into the hustler aspect of it. But I think for some of them, because at one point they were making so much money, or some of them were making so much money at one point, it's like it's so difficult to do that, especially when you're looking at Essential, and he's just still doing a madness.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, and I genuinely don't know, but I'm curious to know like what Dave's thinking is at the moment. I know that Dave will be fine, but because of the space that we're in at the moment, I wonder what he's thinking in regards to like what it looks like dropping music and this whole space and this, that, and the fourth. But anyway,
some people are kind of immune from it though, because I think Dave will always drop something and people will always care.
He's still going to be gone regardless. But for the majority, like the majority out there are genuinely in a weird space with it, and for that, it's trickled down in everything. It's trickled down in like, the less money that these lot make, the less money that everyone makes essentially.
Yeah.
And I've always said that one of the things that I loved about the bubble being as big as it was and things happening was that like it wasn't just the artists that's lives were being changed. It was bare people's, the flipping, the live agents, the tour managers, the managers, the brethren, the guy with the power. Like everyone was making something and being able to, and providing that you do something right with your money, then you'll always be all right. Now, when I speak to young artists here, a lot of the time, I never want to come across as that guy, but I do sometimes have said to a few of them, you see, now that it's thing, now that you're making the bread and that, make sure you're doing this and that and whatever and try, because like, and more often than not, you might get a good 3 years, and that is me being generous. Like you might get that, but you may not. But you're still gonna make a crazy amount of dough that could actually help you live comfortably 100%. For a long period of time 100%. If you do the right thing. So when the bubble bursts now, you can still be out there doing a couple things and looking at certain things, or when you're taking a hit. It's not even, your ego's not hurt so much because you still got some bank there.
Yeah.
It's always very difficult when you know that you had all the dough, but now you ain't got shit, and now you've got to drop your ego. It's like all your head.
Yeah.
It's harder to do that now.
100%.
It's easier to do it when you still got something. You get me?